You're now listening to the Engage the Rockies podcast, your go-to podcast for local and state issues concerning Colorado.
Hello, Colorado. This is the Engage the Rockies podcast. I am your host, Jarvis Caldwell, Executive Director of Engage the Rockies. This is the weekend review for August 5th through August 9th. If you'd like the show notes with links to the stories we're covering today, please visit engagetherockies.com and sign up to our email. Every Friday, we'll send you a list of articles when a new episode is released. From around the state, the deadline for submitting signatures for ballot measures in Colorado was August 5th. To qualify for the November ballot, a measure must receive signatures equal to at least 5% of the total votes cast for all Secretary of State candidates in the last election. This year, that's 124,238. Measures that propose changes to the state constitution must meet those same requirements and receive signatures from at least 2% of the total registered vote electors in each of Colorado's 35 Senate districts. Here are the initiatives that qualified for the ballot so far. Proposition 50. This measure would limit property tax revenue from increasing more than 4% from the total statewide property tax collected the previous year. Under the initiative, if a local district or government wants to increase by more than 4%, they would need the approval of the voters. Proposition 89. This measure would enshrine the right to abortion in the state constitution and prohibit insurance providers from denying coverage for abortions. Proposition 91. This measure would prohibit the hunting of bobcats, lynx, and mountain lions in the state. The Secretary of State's office is still reviewing the signatures turned in for the following measures. It's possible some of them may not have enough verified signatures to appear on the ballot. Proposition 108. This initiative would reduce assessment rates to 5.7% for residential properties and 24% for commercial properties. Proposition 112. Currently, all offenders charged with a violent crime in Colorado are required to serve 75% of their sentence before they are eligible for parole. This initiative would require offenders convicted of crimes that occur after January 1st, 2025 to serve 85% of their sentence before being eligible for parole. Parole eligibility would remain the same for offenders convicted of crimes that occur before January 1st, 2025, as well as for offenders with 2 prior violent crime convictions who must serve their full sentence before being eligible for parole. Proposition 138. This initiative enshrines the right to school choice into the state constitution. Proposition 145. This initiative creates the profession called Veterinary Professional Associate, which requires a master's degree and registration with the State Board of Veterinary Medicine. Proposition 157. Funding for law enforcement. This initiative creates the Peace Officer Training and Support Fund, which would provide funding for law enforcement officer training, retention, and hiring, as well as benefits for spouses and children of officers or first responders killed in the line of duty. And then Proposition 310. This initiative establishes a top 4 ranked choice voting system in Colorado for congressional, gubernatorial, attorney general, secretary of state, treasurer, University of Colorado Board of Regents, State Board of Education, and legislative elections. Moving on. A vacancy committee will meet on Thursday to select a candidate to replace Representative Jennifer Parenti of Erie in the House District 19 election. Parenti announced she was dropping out of the race last month. In a letter announcing her departure, Parenti cited the prevalence of, quote, personal agendas and special interests in the legislature, which she said made it hard for her to maintain her sense of integrity. The winning candidate will face Republican Dan Wu, who was defeated by Parenti in the 2022 election. House District 19 includes parts of Weld and Boulder counties, covering the cities of Erie, Dacono, Del Camino, and Firestone. Moving on. Authorities in Denver said they believe a Venezuelan gang operating in the U.S. is tied to crimes in the city, though law enforcement officials didn't share details of those activities. The Denver Police Department made the disclosure after Homeland Security investigators in New Mexico arrested an alleged member of the Venezuelan Tren de Aragua gang in connection to a jewelry store heist in Denver that happened in June. In a statement, Denver Mayor Mike Johnston's office said it's aware of the issue and is in contact with the police department. Booked into the Denver Detention Center on July 29th, Jean Torres Roman, 21 years old, is under investigation for his alleged involvement in the June 24th robbery of Joyeria El Ruby, which is located in northwest Denver. He is one of the 8 suspects that police said stole a total of $2.5 million worth of jewelry. Homeland Security agents in Las Cruces arrested Torres Roman in New Mexico. In a July 31st post on the social media platform X, Homeland Security investigations said special agents turned over custody of a Venezuelan Tren de Aragua gang member to the sheriff department of the city and county of Denver. The gang has a diverse portfolio of criminal activities that includes human trafficking, particularly immigrant women and girls, drug trafficking, kidnapping, extortion, and money laundering. In local El Paso County news, a district court judge on Tuesday paved the way for a vote to remove Colorado Republican Party Chairman Dave Williams by lifting a temporary restraining order that blocked a group of Colorado Republicans from holding a meeting to consider whether to fire the party boss. Following an hour-long virtual hearing held earlier the same day, Arapahoe County District Court Judge Thomas Henderson reversed an order he issued last month that prohibited Williams' critics from convening a meeting, writing that the court lacked jurisdiction in the internal party dispute. In response to Henderson's new order, the Republicans who have been attempting to oust Williams all summer almost immediately scheduled a meeting on August 24th at a church in Brighton. Williams fired back in an email to Republicans that the party still considers the new meeting called by Watkins to be invalid and illegal, and urged party officials to attend a different meeting set for a week later on August 31st at a church in Castle Rock. Henderson said in a 4-page order that his original restraining order had been improvidently granted based on descriptions of internal party processes made by Williams and his attorney that Williams' critics argued in court misrepresented the facts. Moving on. At least 2 local gun shops in Colorado Springs were burglarized overnight, according to the Colorado Springs Police Department. Police Department spokesperson Caitlin Ford told the Gazette that a stolen car with multiple people inside drove through Spartan Defense Gun Store in northeast Colorado Springs early Thursday morning. The owner stated they stole handguns, ammunition, and rifles, between 8 to 12 guns total. Additionally, Ford confirmed the same silver Hyundai that was left at the scene of the Spartan Defense along the 6100 block of Barnes Road was used in an attempted burglary at a gun store along the 4700 block of Peace Palace Point. According to officials, the group of thieves lost a bumper on the scene of the store along Peace Palace Point that matched the car left at Spartan Defense. Google Maps shows DCF Guns in Colorado Springs located at that address. Police were unsure at the time how many firearms were exactly stolen. And lastly, the town of Monument has appointed Madeline Vanden Hoek, its current director of Parks and Community Partnerships, to the role of interim town manager. Vanden Hoek had been an acting co-town manager during the administrative leave of Mike Foreman, which ended last week in a separation from the city. Monument Mayor Mitch LaKine said in a statement on Thursday that Foreman and the city agreed on his departure. Those are your top stories for the week of August 5th through August 8th. Please tune in each Friday for your weekend review from Engage the Rockies. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe for more great content. If you'd like the full articles from the stories we read today, sign up to our email list at engagetherockies.com, and we'll send you our show notes each week. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Engage the Rockies podcast, your go-to podcast for local and state issues concerning Colorado.